What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? So, I saw a question online the other day, and I decided to answer it by making a quote because that's what I do, right? Motivational speaker. And the question, was if you had a message to send to your younger self, what would you say? And I don't remember if it was a certain duration or a certain limitation on the message, but I think it had to be one sentence, right? It couldn't be a run on sentence or whatever. I won't get into all that. But this quote is the message that, at least at that moment, that I would have sent to my younger self that I was thinking about. So let's get into it, right? Quote of the day. In this game, everyone gets a turn. Be ready when yours comes. The Catalyst. Song of the day, My Way by Queen Key. So turn-based gaming is such a great analogy for this life that we live. The most popular of turn-based that I can think of is football, and not soccer football, but actual football, American football, right? And the reason that I think about it is because of offense and defense and the switching of teams and switching of sides. It's such a great analogy for life because sometimes you're trying to put points on the board, and other times you're trying to stop the opposition from putting points on the board that are going to be against you. The enemy, the world, society wants to trick you. They don't want you to know that you're going to get a turn to hold the ball. They want you to think that you're going to be on defense for the rest of your life. If they can trick you into thinking this, when you actually get the ball, when it's actually your turn to score, when it's actually your turn to put points on the board, you don't know what to do. Because you were never prepared for having an opportunity to score. You always thought for the rest of your life, you had been conditioned to think that you were going to be subject to somebody else's will, that you were just going to have to do your best to stop them from scoring. It's one of the greatest tricks the enemy pulls for us to think that we're not going to get a turn, especially when you're in high school. When you're a kid in your school, they want you to believe that however life is right now, when you graduate, it's going to be the same way. There's so many jocks who learned that the hard way. There's so many nerds who were rewarded for the work that they did while they were in school. Another turn-based game that comes to mind is Duel Monsters from the anime Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you draw 5 cards, and each player takes turns attacking the other one's life points or laying trap cards or spell cards, right? Summoning monsters. Very complex and intricate game. The reason I love this analogy is because once it's your turn, you now control the duel. Now it's time for you to implement your strategy on your opponent. They've done this to your life points. They've set this trap card. They've brought these monsters to the field. Now you get to respond to that. See, they don't want to let you know that you get to respond to that. They don't want to let you know that you get a counterattack. They don't want you to let you know that you get a turn in the game. So when you do get a turn, you're unprepared, so that you waste your turn. This is why, if I had a chance to talk to my younger self, one of the things I would tell them is that everybody gets a turn. Be prepared when yours comes. Right now, it's his turn. Right now it's her turn. Right now it's their turn, but you're going to get a turn. And what is your turn going to look like? Your turn is going to look like, what your turn look like is going to look like is going to be dependent on what you're doing when it's not your turn. So just because it's your turn, it's not your turn. Just because it's your turn, not your turn, doesn't mean it's your chance to be a hater. Just because it's not your turn doesn't mean it's your chance to get lazy. Just because it's not your turn doesn't mean it's your chance to cheat on your nutrition, cheat on your diet, skip that study session, to start slacking on your sacrifice, your determination, your work ethic, and your hard work. While the spotlight is on somebody else, you need to be grinding. You need to be hustling. You need to be getting ready for your turn. That's what I would have told my younger self. In a short sentence, and I hope that he would have got it. I was a knucklehead, so maybe not. But everyone gets a turn. And how you spend your time when it's not your turn is going to determine what kind of turn you get. Be prepared for it. Sacrifice, hustle, put some stuff to the side, grind, work hard. So when you do get a turn, you're prepared to take that ball from whatever position you are on the field all the way into the end zone. So when you do get a turn, you get to summon your ultimate monster. You get to bring out your ultimate strategy. You get to put your opponents back against the wall and go after his life points. Be prepared for your turn. Right here, right now, today, you need to be preparing for what you're going to do when it's your turn. So you need to ask yourself, and you need to be real about yourself when you ask yourself this question. Is there something more that I need to be preparing for when it's my turn? Is there better preparation that I could be having? You need to ask yourself, have I decided to accept that I'm never going to get a turn? You need to ask yourself what it is that you really want and what you're waiting for. Because it's going to come. Your turn, your opportunity. The only question is, are you going to be prepared for when it does happen? I want to thank everybody out there for watching this video. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.